Hey guys, it's Dr. Darbro. In this video I want to talk about your syllabus, and there's going to be a lot of components, but the four things I want to talk to you about the most, or at least that I want to stress, are the uses of technology. What technology requirements will we have for this course? What are the course objectives? Sometimes we call those learning outcome objectives. I want to discuss briefly ADA accommodations, and finally I want to talk to you about how your final grade is going to be calculated. So keep in mind, this is Math 1500, Principles of Statistics, that's offered in dual credit fashion with Shawnee State University. Again, dual credit just means you're going to get credit both toward your high school diploma and toward earning your college degree. I have a list there of the instructors, and I've provided their email addresses. Guys, the technology we're going to use in this course is called R, and it's a free statistical software package. I choose R because many of the statistical software packages have become extremely expensive. For example, we used to use SPSS at Shawnee State University. I think last year our license for SPSS was around $12,000. So I was asked by the dean and by the chair to find a more reasonable, at least more cost-effective statistical software package. I noticed that a lot of other statisticians, or at least statistics educators and other universities, were using R. So I started using R about a year ago. I don't think I'm an expert at it, but I think I'm actually pretty good. So the next video that I put up will actually go into a lot more detail on how we access R, how you download it to your computer, and I'll probably give you a brief introduction of how we use R to analyze data. Another means of technology we're going to use is the graphing calculator. Now, I'd say many of you already have a TI-83 or 84 calculator. We're not going to require this, but it is strongly recommended. I teach usually maybe, I don't know, depends on the semester, but usually 3 to 4 statistics courses every semester at Shawnee State. In the last year, I've used R and I've used the TI calculators. I get mixed reviews. Some students tell me they like R best. Some students tell me they like the calculators best. Some students say they really don't have a preference, that they're both easy enough if you just follow instructions that we give you. So anyway, along with using R, we're also going to use the TI-83 and 84 calculator to analyze data. Guys, in a formal presentation of the course, we usually talk about catalog description and general education program requirements. I'm not going to sit here and read the catalog description to you, other than to tell you it introduces you to the vocabulary, concepts, and presentation of statistics. I'll go into a little bit more detail later about the topics, and as we talked about earlier, we will use the statistical software package R and the graphing calculator to analyze data. The general education program requirements. The best way to think of this is when you get a college degree, most universities want you not only to take courses in your major and your minor, but we also want you to take courses that maybe make you a more well-rounded person. In the spirit of the general education program at Shawnee State University, this course satisfies the quantitative reasoning component. Now, what does all that mean? Well, for the most part, it means that upon successful completion of this course, you can mark off on your checklist the quantitative reasoning component of the general education program. Next thing we talk about are course objectives. Again, I'm not going to read these to you, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to hit pause and read these. But from a first day perspective, this is a formal presentation of what we're going to teach you over the next however many weeks, probably 2 semesters for most of you. But keep in mind, if we tell you day one, this is what we are going to teach you, and upon successful completion of the course, these are things you're going to be able to do, this would really be a really good list to revisit before preparing to study for your final exam. Accommodations. Some of you may be entitled to certain accommodations via the Americans with Disabilities Act. If this applies to you, the first step you have to take is you have to identify these disabilities with your teacher. I can assure you that if you have disabilities, documented disabilities, that we will do everything in our power to make sure that these accommodations are provided to you. But guys, again, keep in mind, if this applies to you, you have to let us know. Guys, most students at college, one of the first things they want to know when they go over a syllabus, or at least one of the things that gets people's attention the most, how is my final grade going to be calculated? Before I get into that, let's talk about class policies. Guys, class policies are set by your primary teacher. You're going to see videos from all of us, but the class policies will be set by your high school teacher. So if your high school teacher doesn't want you to chew gum, well, you don't chew gum. If your high school teacher doesn't permit you to use cell phones, then you don't use cell phones. So again, class policies are set per high school. Calculating your final grade is not set by each high school. It is the same regardless what high school that you take the course from. So first of all, there are 1,000 points for the course. 65% of your final grade will come from scores on your exams. 25% of your final grade will come from homeworks, assignments, and quizzes. And 10% of your final grade will come from video journals. Now, in watching videos, we want you, much like you would do in class if you were sitting through a lecture, to take notes, to jot down things that you think will be helpful for you later on. For example, when you're working on your homework, if you get to a problem, a concept that's been covered in a previous video, it's going to be kind of frustrating, cumbersome, time. It's not going to be very effective in terms of your time to go back and watch the video again just so you can work a particular problem. The best way to handle this, and this is the reason we did this in your made a part of the calculation of your final grade, is we want to motivate you while you're watching videos to be involved, to watch the videos just as you would if you were attending an in-class lecture. Take notes, have those notes accessible, so when you start working on your homework, assignments, and in-class quizzes, you'll have those notes readily accessible to you. Guys, your exams, you can see that they in total will be 650 points. You're going to have 6 what I call content or subject exams, and you're going to have a comprehensive midterm and a comprehensive final exam. Note that the comprehensive midterms and the comprehensive final exams are weighted a little bit more than the content subject exams. Now, I'm sure every teacher will be asked this 100 times, or at least it seems like I am. Is the final exam comprehensive? Does the final exam just cover the content from exam 4, 5, and 6? No. The final exam is totally comprehensive, meaning that it covers all the material that's been covered throughout the course from day one. Guys, finally, a list of the topics. The things I want you to be aware of, or exactly the thing I want you to be aware of here, are there are 3 parts when we break down the topics. The first I call understanding data. How do we numerically describe data? What kind of pictures do we present? What kind of graphs do we present? The second part, normal distributions and sampling distributions. And sometimes we give it a big old fancy terminology here of central limit theorem. Part 3, hypothesis testing. I consider this to be the inference part. This is the part, probably the most important part of statistics. How do we take information from a sample and use it to either test a claim about a population value or use the sample to make an estimate of an unknown population value. So again, guys, 3 parts here: understanding data, normal distributions, and sampling distributions. And part 3 is an introduction to inference. Guys, in the next video, I will get into the R project for statistical computing more. But until then, that's all for this video.